Hi, welcome to another Blender Grass tutorial. I said before that I'll upload Grass tutorial as video, so a little late, but here it is. I'll explain the way how to create grass within cycles, but I won't go too much into details. I leave those things for another tutorial and stick with grass only for now. So let's start. I'm going to remove this cube and create plane. First I'll create something that looks like grass, starting from one straw. So enter edit mode and scale it down along y-axis. Okay, now from this plane I'll create one straw and then duplicate it a few times. But first I need something like a profile of the straw, so I'll add few more segments. Okay, and move some vertices. Just make it a little thinner. Okay, now I need the pivot point to be at the bottom of this straw, so I'll select this bottom vertex and snap the cursor by pressing Shift S and choosing cursor to select. Okay, then with exit from edit mode and then with the Control Alt Shift and C, choose origin to 3D cursor. Okay. Okay. Now Alt G to reset the position of the pivot point to the center, and rotate the object on the y-axis by 90 degrees. And now from a side view, move some vertices to create a little bending. So box select by pressing B. Okay, now if the overlapping vertices stay unselected, just disable limit selection button, and now you can easily select every overlapping vertex. So okay, okay, and give to this row a little depth. Okay, that's it. Now to make it look smooth, there is a quick way doing it by opening menu with space bar and typing SM, and from available choose shade smooth. And now we need UV setup. But first, if you're planning to duplicate same object while it is in edit mode, and every object within need to have the same UV image, well, it's a good idea to set up UV first and then duplicate the object, because if you don't apply UV first, you will have to do it later for each one of them, which isn't a very good idea. So here's the thing: enter edit mode, select whole object, pressing A twice if needed, press U, and menu choose unwrap. Now split the view and change the new one to UV image editor. and this is the point where image comes in, and we need a new material. If you haven't changed earlier render engine to cycles, do it now. And now we can open material panel and make new material. Call it grass. Well, it's possible to make material within settings on this visible panel, but we can have as well graphical presentation of that in node editor, which is useful sometimes. So split viewport again and change it to node editor. Okay, and now watch what happens. So instead of color, we need image texture. Click on the little dot on the right side of the color and choose image texture. Okay. See how image texture node appears in node editor. Again, image need UV to follow, and we can do that by adding node or simply under the surface settings for vector, instead of default choose UV and texture coordinate node appears. Now locate an image. Okay, and here it is. Now move vertices around just to fit the boundaries of this straw. Okay. Something like this. Okay. Now in a 3D viewport, by changing shade mode to texture, we can see that image fits well. Okay, and now we can make duplicates of this one straw. So enter edit mode. Okay, and start one by one, duplicating one by one. Okay, okay, by pressing A twice we can select all and then duplicate all, so I can make some variations. Okay. you a little bit more variations. Okay. Okay, this should work. Now exit edit mode and let's call this done for now. Okay, now we need a plane, so move aside this grass sample and create ground. So shift A, mesh, and choose circle. Alt G to reset the position, and instead of, oops, sorry, I must add first circle, and before I edit anything, choose instead of 32, 8 vertices. Okay, and now reset the position and enter edit mode and scale it up by pressing S. Okay, and create some extrusions by pressing E just to close the surface. Okay, and for the center, instead of extruding, just manually create faces, just to keep the 4 vertex faces. Now ground can be a little uneven, so move some vertices up or down. Okay, and make it smooth, shade smooth. Now, because of the particles, we're going to add directions or normals of the faces must be the same, because particles will follow those face normals. So in edit mode, select all and then recalculate faces. Okay, and that's it. Now exit edit mode and go to the particles panel, but first call this surface ground. Okay, now add particles. Okay, and I close everything for now. Okay, because we actually need really few settings, and let's start by adding the object as particle. So in render settings, choose object. Okay, and for the object choose grass, but first name this sample grass sample as grass. Okay, and now let find in here grass, and for the size set 1. Okay, now if you look at the surface now, there is not much you can see, probably 1 or few samples of this grass as it is here. Okay, so what we need to do is open emission settings, and now you'll notice that for the start and end are 1 and 200 set as values. Change those to -5 and -4. Okay, now samples are appearing. What is actually happened here, if I look at the timeline, okay, you can see that the current frame is set to 1, and -4 and -5 means that whole creation of the particles is going to happen in between that 1 second. Further, that means when the time comes to 1, all samples or particles will be there, and if it is a still image, these settings are fine. But if it is animation, and animation goes for 10 seconds, it's necessary to change lifetime to something more than 100, or just put some big number, for example 500, which means 5 seconds. Okay, and by this we are making sure that particles won't disappear in time. Okay, next we need valid orientation, so zoom the original sample, and before we enter edit mode, snap the cursor to origin by selecting cursor to selected, Shift S, cursor to select. Okay, and change the orientation type to 3D cursor. Now enter edit mode and find which is right direction. Okay, now select all and rotation. Well, it looks like it is X axis, so rotation by 90 degrees, and exit edit mode, and we getting something. Okay, now we can turn off outline preview, okay, for better seeing. Okay, now in emission settings, add more of the samples into viewport by changing from 1000 to 5000 for now. So if we zoom in, well, it's getting better. Okay, now now we can play a little with the settings. So in rotation, change only random to 0.15, okay, or something similar. No more than that, because too much rotation we don't need. Now in physics, change random size to something like 0.4, okay, and Brownian into something like 0.8. Okay, you can experiment with this, and basically that's it. Well, now we have some fancy grass. We can add even more samples. So if I zoom in, well, it looks fine. And if I add, for example, 10,000, well, now it is even better. Okay, and I can change the from orthographic to perspective preview. Okay, and that's it. And what is left to do is to test this in cycles, but first I'll add some light and then turn on rendering. So let's see, this is camera, okay, insert one plane, scale it up, okay, change orientation to median point so I can rotate this plane. Okay, I think it's going to work. And position camera a little better. Okay. Um, okay. Now I'll add I'll make this plane to be a light source. So go to material, make new material. Instead of diffuse, choose emission, and set it to 50 for now. First, we're going to test. Okay, and okay, and now we can turn on rendering. One more thing, I'll change the environment color to something lighter. Okay. And basically that's all. I'll make one final render, so I'll just pause this recording. And this is how it looks when it is all done. It's easy, it doesn't require too much time, and it's possible in cycles. I know it's not perfect, but you can experiment with settings or make a better model of grass. I had maybe some flowers and stuff just to look more realistic. So, I hope you'll find this tutorial useful, and thanks for watching.